20 things Camilla loses when William becomes king. You saw the first list, but that was the easy part. These losses are personal. Her father's military regiment, her honeymoon home, her grandchildren's one royal moment, all gone. We're covering 20 losses, from properties to military honors to family privileges that vanish overnight. But stay close for two things. One involves a charity named after Camilla's own mother, caught in a crisis nobody at the palace can fix. And the last one? It happens at William's coronation. It involves something Diana left behind. If you've spent years watching this woman sit where Diana should have sat, this is the reckoning. Let's get into it. Number 1, her home where Diana cried. Highgrove House. Most people assume this is Charles's property. It's not. The moment Charles became king, Highgrove transferred to William as part of the Duchy of Cornwall. Charles now pays roughly £700,000 a year in rent to his own son to live there. Camilla wakes up each morning in a house owned by Diana's firstborn. This is where Diana lived with her boys, where she watched William and Harry play in those gardens, where she sat alone at night while Charles was on the phone with Camilla. When Charles dies, William decides if she stays or goes. The home where Diana walked those halls, the home where Diana cried herself to sleep. And if you think William hasn't thought about that, you don't know William. Number 2, her father's regiment. Now, I need you to pay attention to this one because it hits differently than everything else on this list. Camilla's father, Major Bruce Shand, served with the 12th Royal Lancers in World War II. He won the Military Cross, and then won it again. The man was a genuine war hero. Dunkirk, El Alamein, captured by the enemy and held prisoner until 1945. When Camilla became Colonel-in-Chief of the Royal Lancers, the very regiment formed from her father's 12th Lancers, it wasn't just a ceremonial title. It was a direct connection to her father's memory. She wears the uniform. She visits the barracks. This is the one thing in Camilla's royal life that has nothing to do with Charles, nothing to do with the crown. It's about her dad. And here's where it gets cruel. Military appointments are reviewed whenever the monarch changes. William becomes king. William decides who holds which honors. Camilla's connection to her dead father's legacy, his regiment, his sacrifice, his 2 military crosses, is subject to approval from Diana's son, the son who remembers everything. This isn't about politics anymore. It's personal. Number 3, the title she took from Andrew. And get this, Colonel of the Grenadier Guards. This was Prince Andrew's most coveted honorary title. When he was stripped of his duties after the scandal, Camilla received it. December 2022. Royal watchers noticed the irony. Andrew spent years dismissing Camilla, and she ended up inheriting his most prized military honor. But here's the thing. When William reassigns military appointments, Camilla could lose the very title she took from Andrew. And Andrew, still watching from the sidelines with nothing. Diana never got to hold a military title, never got to wear the uniform, visit the barracks, stand at attention while soldiers saluted. She was stripped of her HRH before she could build that kind of legacy. But her son now controls each military appointment in the kingdom, each uniform Camilla wears, each regiment she visits, each salute she receives. All of it flows through William. Diana didn't need a title. She just needed her son to grow up. Number 4, her honeymoon home, Birkhall. Around 6,000 acres on the Balmoral estate in Scotland. Charles inherited it from the Queen Mother in 2002. He proposed to Camilla there. They honeymooned there. They isolated together during COVID there. This is where Charles and Camilla are most themselves. No cameras, no protocol, no public face. Their private world. But Birkhall is Charles's personal property, inherited through the Queen Mother's will. When Charles dies, it passes however he chooses. There's no guarantee Camilla keeps it. The home where he proposed, the home where they honeymooned, all of it, uncertain. Number 5, Balmoral Castle, 50,000 acres. Queen Elizabeth's favorite place on earth, where she took her last breath on September 8, 2022. Camilla has full access right now. She stays each summer. She walks the grounds Elizabeth walked for 70 years. But Balmoral is private royal property. It passes through the monarch's will, not automatically to the next in line. Under William's reign, that access becomes a privilege, not a right. Diana's son deciding whether Camilla can visit the estate where her husband's mother died, the gardens where Diana was never truly welcome. And that's only the properties so far. 5 places Camilla assumed were untouchable, each one controlled by a man whose mother never got to grow old in any of them. Millions watched part 1 and said the same thing. It's karma. Diana was locked out of these places 30 years ago. Now her son holds each key. Number 6, Sandringham at Christmas. Okay, this next one caught me off guard. The royal family gathers at Sandringham every December. The walk to church, the wave to the crowds, the intimate family dinners. Camilla's been part of this since the wedding. But here's something most people don't know. Camilla's own son, Tom Parker Bowles, admitted he's never been to a royal Christmas. His exact words to People magazine: "I haven't been to Christmas yet for various reasons." Her own children aren't fully included. When William is king, he decides the guest list. Camilla might get an invitation, or she might spend Christmas morning at Ray Mill House, alone, watching the Sandringham walkabout on television while the family she married into celebrates without her. Number 7, the Welsh cottage, Llwynni 192 acres in rural Wales. Charles restored it personally, hosted intimate dinners there, practiced his Welsh. He poured himself into this place. But here's what most people missed. Charles already gave up this property in June 2023 when William became Prince of Wales. It's gone. Not a future loss, a done deal. And it tells you everything about what's coming. If Charles let go of his beloved Welsh retreat while he's still alive, imagine what William will do with the rest once he's king. Diana was 20 when she moved into a royal estate for the first time. She thought it would be her forever home. It wasn't. Now each property Camilla touches carries that same uncertainty. Except this time, it's Diana's son writing the lease. We're getting closer to the loss connected to Camilla's mother, the one the palace doesn't know how to handle. But first, the military honors. Because what comes next strips away something deeper than property. Number 8, Elizabeth's Regiment, the Royal Lancers. Queen Elizabeth was so closely associated with this regiment that they added her name to theirs in 2017, honoring 70 years of her patronage over predecessor regiments. Camilla inherited the title in June 2023. She visited the barracks, wore a uniform inspired by theirs, stood where Elizabeth stood for decades. But William may give this one to Catherine, Diana's daughter-in-law, wearing the uniform of Elizabeth's regiment, standing where Camilla stood, honoring what Camilla honored. Call it what it is. Replacement. Number 9, her brand new naval honor, Vice Admiral of the United Kingdom. Camilla was only appointed this in July 2025, the day before her 78th birthday, first woman to hold a title created by Henry VIII in 1513. She barely had time to learn the protocols. Brand new, still has the shine on it, but honorary military appointments serve at the pleasure of the monarch. Her shiny new naval honor, entirely dependent on William's goodwill, and William is not known for sentimental gestures when it comes to Camilla. Number 10, her place at the cenotaph. Stay with me here because this one cuts deep. Every November, the nation stops. The royal family gathers at the cenotaph in London to honor those who gave their lives, the most sacred public ceremony in Britain. Camilla currently stands on the Foreign Office balcony alongside Catherine. When William takes the throne, Catherine moves to the position of honor. Camilla gets pushed further back, or may not be invited to the balcony at all. The ceremony that honors real sacrifice, the kind her own father made, and she might not have a place at it anymore. Diana's son decides who stands where, and on the day Britain remembers its fallen, Camilla becomes forgettable. Diana once wore a military-style jacket to a public event. No rank behind it, no regiment, just Diana being Diana. That single outfit generated more front pages than all the military ceremonies Camilla has ever attended combined. Diana didn't need the uniform. She was the uniform. 10 down. And we haven't even touched her charities, her family, or the moment at William's coronation that changes everything. The second half is where it gets personal. Number 11, her baby, the Queen's reading room. Camilla built this from nothing during lockdown in January 2021, a book club that became a registered charity in 2023. She's personally recommended 76 books. It reaches over 186,000 community members across 180 countries. The charity's own CEO called it very much her baby, but it's called the Queen's Reading Room. When Camilla becomes Queen Dowager, Kate becomes the Queen. Does it rebrand? Does Camilla's life work get renamed for someone else? Kate has already contributed book recommendations. If it continues under the Queen's name, it might feature Kate's picks, not Camilla's. Diana read to William and Harry every night. No charity, no CEO. Just a mother, a book, and 2 little boys who hung on her words. Those bedtime stories shaped a future king. Camilla's reading room reaches hundreds of thousands. Diana's had 2, and they remember each page. Number 12, her literary festival. The Queen's Reading Room Festival at Chatsworth. Major authors, Jilly Cooper, Helen Fielding. Over 20,000 attendees across 2 years. Camilla built this. She shaped the programming. But when she's no longer the Queen, does the festival continue under that name? Does Kate host it? Does Camilla sit in the audience watching her own creation carry on without her name, attached to a single page of the program? Diana never hosted a literary festival. She didn't need to. When Diana walked into a room, authors wanted to meet her. Photographers chased her. She wasn't curating culture. She was the culture. Camilla programs events. Diana was the event. Number 13, her place in the King's Christmas broadcast. Every December 25th, the King addresses the nation. Millions of families sit down after lunch and watch together. Family photos placed around the King as he speaks. Camilla is part of the official Christmas image now. When William becomes king, that broadcast belongs to him and Catherine. The photos will show William, Catherine, George, Charlotte, and Louis. Camilla won't be part of the image. She'll watch it on television like everyone else. Sitting at Ray Mill House, while Diana's son speaks to the nation and Diana's daughter-in-law smiles from the photograph behind him. Now here's where I need you to stay with me. Remember what I said at the beginning. One loss is connected to Camilla's own mother. Her mother's memory caught in a crisis nobody knows how to solve. This is it. Number 14. The cause named for her mother's illness. Camilla's mother, Rosalind Shand, died of osteoporosis in 1994 at 72. It devastated Camilla. She's championed the cause for decades. She's president of the Royal Osteoporosis Society. There's a Duchess of Cornwall Center for Osteoporosis at Royal Cornwall Hospital, bearing her former title. This is her mother's memory, kept alive through Camilla's advocacy and her royal name. But when Camilla is no longer the Queen and no longer the Duchess of Cornwall, what happens to these centers? These initiatives bearing titles she no longer holds, rebranded, renamed, her mother's memory becoming an administrative headache. That's the loss nobody at the palace wants to talk about, because there's no clean answer. Diana championed AIDS awareness when touching a patient could end your career. One handshake, no gloves. That single image rewrote how the world understood a disease. Camilla's cause is worthy, but Diana didn't just raise awareness. She shattered stigma. Number 15, her domestic violence platform. On December 31, 2025, Camilla spoke on BBC Radio 4's Today program about being attacked as a teenager. Her own word, she's been a fierce advocate for survivors ever since. She hosted European royals at Buckingham Palace for the UN's 16 Days of Activism. She meets survivors privately, but the platform sits on the crown. As Queen Dowager, the invitations dry up. The cameras point somewhere else. Her advocacy becomes smaller, quieter, less visible. The cause doesn't disappear, but the megaphone does. Remember the second thing I told you to watch for? The one that happens at William's coronation? The one that involves something Diana left behind? We're almost there. But these next 3 losses set it up, and they might be the cruelest ones on the entire list. Number 16, her grandchildren's moment frozen in time. At Charles's coronation, 4 young people served as Camilla's pages of honor. Her grandsons, Freddie, Gus, and Louis, alongside her great-nephew, Arthur Elliot. They carried her robes through Westminster Abbey. They stood on the Buckingham Palace balcony. Gus had broken his arm days before and still showed up in a sling. That moment was once in a lifetime, and it's over. There won't be another coronation for Camilla. Her grandchildren won't carry robes at William's ceremony. That afternoon is frozen, a memory that gets further away every year. Number 17, her children fade to ordinary. Tom Parker Bowles, Laura Lopes. As the Queen's children, they've enjoyed quiet proximity to power without the scrutiny. Tom is Charles's godson and stepson. Laura's daughter, Eliza, was a bridesmaid at William and Kate's wedding. But Tom said it himself, "We are married in. We are not the royal family." When Charles dies, their stepfather, the king, is gone. Their mother becomes the widow. Their proximity to everything royal ended. Number 18, Diana's grandchildren. Camilla is technically step-grandmother to George, Charlotte, and Louis. She's been part of their lives since birth, but reports suggest William and Catherine have made sure their children understand who their real grandmother is. Diana, not Camilla, grandfather's wife. When Charles dies and William takes full control, the children who barely see Camilla as family might see her even less. Diana remains their grandmother forever. Camilla becomes a name in a photo album. Diana never held George, never braided Charlotte's hair, never chased Louis around a garden. But she's more present in those children's lives than the woman who actually sits across from them at dinner. That's not spite, that's legacy. The kind you can't legislate away or reassign with a military appointment. Number 19, the day she stops mattering to the government. Right now, Camilla is at the center of power. She's beside the king when ministers visit. She sees the private papers that arrive each morning. She feels the weight of it. The sense that she matters, that she's part of something enormous. Queen Dowagers don't get any of that. The papers stop coming. The ministers stop visiting. One day you're beside the throne, part of each conversation that shapes the nation. The next day you're watching the news on television like everyone else. That feeling of being at the center of everything, it vanishes overnight, and nobody calls to tell you it's over. You just stop being invited. And now, the last one. The one I've been holding since the beginning. Number 20. Watching Kate be crowned while Diana's ring catches the light. If Camilla is invited to William's coronation, she will sit in the congregation, not on the throne, not in the center, in the crowd. And she will watch Diana's daughter-in-law walk to the altar. She'll watch the archbishop place the crown on Catherine's head. She'll hear the words, "God save the Queen," and they won't be for her. But that's not the part that will haunt her. Look at Kate's hand. On her finger, Diana's sapphire engagement ring, 12 carats, Ceylon sapphire. The ring Charles gave Diana in 1981. The ring William chose for Kate because he wanted his mother to be part of it. That ring will catch the light of Westminster Abbey during the coronation. It will be the Queen's ring, Diana's ring, on the hand of the woman who replaced Camilla at the center of the monarchy, the ring that was supposed to represent forever, the ring that symbolizes everything Diana lost and everything Camilla never truly had. 20 personal losses. The properties, the military honors, the charities, the family, the final seat at the coronation. each one controlled by Diana's son. Camilla's years as queen were borrowed time, and the bill is coming due. Diana didn't live to see any of this, but her presence is in every room William walks into, each decision he'll make, every ring that catches the light. Click here to discover 20 celebrities who refuse to meet Camilla, and their reasons will tell you everything.